Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. This morning's opening lesson is drawn from the meditation manual titled Easy Enlightenment. This morning, let us play with the second lesson, Stress, the first of the Buddha's Four Noble Truths. Together, let us relaxingly recite. Contrary to the ravings of 1001 self-help gurus, coaches, and con men, the experience of stress is not an indictment. If we asked an evolutionary biologist, they could tell us there are stressors. Some are circumstantial, some are physical, some are interpersonal, and some are mental. No, stress, or dukkha in Pali, is not the smoke and gun, proving that we believe in a permanent or independent self, that we are arrogant, cowardly, debaucherous, or faithless. There we go. Our visceral response to stress evolved as an evolutionary mechanism in response to peril in order to keep us alive. To paraphrase Neil deGrasse Tyson, PhD, it could feel like the universe is trying to kill us. And biology has evolved mechanisms to respond to danger appropriately. For life forms born without a stress response typically do not live long enough to reproduce and pass on their genetic traits. No sentient being is a stranger to the stressors of not getting what we want when we want it, not keeping what we like for as long as we please, and enduring that which we do not want. Birth is stressful, illness is stressful, even dying is stressful. Since stress, from the petty to the existential, is more of a rule than an exception. The wise develop strategies to deal with it. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Having completed this morning's opening lesson, we can now shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after about 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Sende Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to Nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's live stream, let's meditate together. So I'm shifting gears now from the teaching text to a set of visual aids, both of which are available for free download. One moment, if you please. The Buddha is an excellent archetype for the qualities of yin taught in the Tao Te Ching. That of being flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. The Buddha's foolish cousin Devadatta, real or imagined, is an excellent archetype for the qualities of yang, taught in the Tao Te Ching. The qualities of being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. It is this latter collection of attributes that is referenced by Sturgeon's law, which explains that 90% of everything sucks. But no, not in the fun, tingly way. Perhaps this is why 90% of meditation teachers implore their students to actively focus and actively analyze. And the only way to do that is through reliance, or I should say, whoopsie, let's go back over here and hit this button. There we go. The only way to do that is through reliance or over-reliance upon our dorsolateral, prefrontal, and medial prefrontal cortex. Oh, we overwork these at our peril, for exhausting the front of our brain, induces us to present with symptoms of depression, as well as trigger our amygdala, the seat of both anxiety and aggression. Fortunately, neither our amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Consider, if you will, our spinal cord, known by physicians as our autonomic nervous system and by sages of yore as our Buddha nature. How does that work? Every time we inhale, we are wired, we have evolved to automatically access the middle part of our spinal cord, known today as our sympathetic nervous system. This bad boy has evolved to help us to fleetingly, randomly, viscerally, passively, and vulnerably notice all manner of phenomena. All. From the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque, including our perceptions of sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. But what do we do with all that stuff that we notice? Every time we exhale, we have evolved to automatically access the end bits of our spinal cord, kind of like bookends. And this is known as our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved to support our physical relaxation and mental release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and even less defining. All complex life forms, including humans, have evolved to think symbolically. Therefore, it is not a surprise that every human civilization uses figures of speech. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. It was my fourth grade teacher who first explained similes to me. It was later elaborated that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. Therefore, we have to ask the question, what? What is a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to the hand? That's a whole lot of jibber-jabber. What's the most efficient, succinct, and sustainable way to apply this information? Simple. The key to mindfulness, to noticing mind's antics, is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel our diaphragm pull in and down as we inhale. The most efficient way for us to practice meditation, for us to relax into mind's non-graspable nature, is for us to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. Each time we feel our diaphragm relax and reset up, each time we gently exhale. This is the key to passively cooperating with our autonomic nervous systems. We play with these words, not to force our autonomic nervous system to do what it's going to do anyway, but to help align our will with what's going on, so we break our habit of fighting it. Having sat for the better part of 15 minutes, you may wish to adjust your legs if you too are prone to arthritis. The easiest way to keep track of our first collection of 144 inhalations is for us to rest the first knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. We could touch the tip of our right thumb to the first, second, and third set of creases found on each of our 4 fingers of our right hand to keep track of 12 inhalations. We could touch the tip of our left thumb to the 3 creases, to the 3 sets of creases found on each of our 4 fingers of our left hand, to keep track of 12 sets of 12 inhalations each. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I tend to check for questions about every 5 minutes or so. If you are prone to arthritis, you may wish to adjust your legs every 15 minutes or so. The easiest way to begin keeping track of our second collection of 144 inhalations is for us to rest the second knuckle of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. By using the tip of our right thumb to touch each of the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our right hand, we can keep track of the next 12 inhalations. We could use the tip of our left thumb to touch the 3 sets of creases found on each of the 4 fingers of our left hand to keep track of 12 sets of 12 inhalations each. The key to mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel our diaphragm pull in and down as we inhale. Remember, we're not concentrating. We're simply noticing vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly to whatever seems to cartwheel across the stage of our mind. The most efficient way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. Each time we feel our diaphragm relax and reset, passively, gently, as we exhale. For noticing and relaxing are the gift of our autonomic nervous system that make the mastery of the remaining 6 folds of the Buddha's 8-fold path effortless and easy. Here's the great irony. If we use the front of our brain to concentrate and analyze, we're going to excite our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, which undermines kindness. When we rely upon our autonomic nervous system, not only does it calm our amygdala, but gently stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. Perhaps that is why the late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. It has been asked, if active focus and active analysis are so destructive, why have we evolved this part of our brain? It evolved to be used intermittently, sparingly. How are we to use it in the most sustainable manner? Simple. The more we cooperate with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, the more our choices, utterances, and deeds could flow, not from contrivance, not from scatteredness, but from a flavor of spontaneity which is deeply centered. That ensures that we'll use the entirety of our brain effortlessly, automatically, and sustainably. This is why meditation found its way into the martial arts systems, because the difference between practicing martial arts and mastering martial arts is being able to exercise one's physical vocabulary spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. And the key to that spontaneity, the key to that mastery, is with our cooperation with our autonomic nervous system. It is not our job to actively focus upon our nose, our heart, our gut, or any real or imagined syllables at any real or imagined chakras. Neither is it our job to actively focus upon a flower, a tree, a real or imagined Buddha, or a real or imagined paradise. It's our job to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly cooperate with our sympathetic nervous system during each inhalation so that we can vulnerably notice whatever comes up, be it external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. But what do we do with that which we notice? We physically relax as best we can as we exhale. We do this passively in cooperation with our parasympathetic nervous system. And as such, that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and even less defining. And if you prefer figures of speech, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although could look tantalizing to the eye, feels non-graspable to the hand. At least until the next inhalation, and then the cycle begins afresh. There will come moments when we feel disgust or aversion to meditating. What do we do with that? We notice it as we breathe in, we relax into it as we breathe out. An irony of ironies, aversion to meditation strengthens meditation, but only when it occurs spontaneously. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.